Welcome to Jackall Digital. I'm Simon, and today I'll show you how to do a cool screen animation in DaVinci Resolve 16. The inspiration came from a game called Outer Worlds, and while I did enjoy it immensely, I was also fascinated by a simple but enchanting pause menu. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but hold on. Just look at this simplicity. Faintly visible grid with lines running across, and an occasional flicker or square. Now that is what I call a nice design. The main idea of this animation is geometrical background. I went ahead and made triangle, square, hexagon and octagon background so you can follow along. The link to the files is in the description below. Now let's jump to DaVinci Resolve and start creating. So I have made a new project and added the images to my media pool, and now we just drag the image that we want to manipulate into the media pool. Now the images may look a little bit strange in the preview, but they do look just fine. I went ahead and did square background since it is the easiest one. Let's just go over it quickly, like that. Select the clip you want to edit and go into the Fusion tab. Now we have the media in on the left and the media out. The media in is basically our background image that we have here. Okay, so the easiest thing that we can do now is to have a bunch of rectangles and the background. Doesn't matter which color we pick at the moment. So something like this. And we'll have a bunch of merge nodes. And I'll just create a bunch of them. So the green arrow is the foreground and the yellow is the background. We have something like this at the moment. Then you click on rectangle, make it the size that you want. Make it bigger again, and then just drag it to where you want to have it. So this is the first one. I will enable the motion blur under the settings and just leave everything to default. And we can copy this twice. Now this rectangle, I'll make it go from top to bottom, like so. And this one will go from bottom to top, like so. So the angle should be 60 degrees. Can make that minus 60. It's a little bit messy the way I'm doing this, but it's okay. So I'm just eyeballing the line here. So we have our basic settings, and then I'll go to this one. So I started at 0, and maybe we'll end the whole animation at 120. Put 120. Put the Y position here so it's in line. It's going to go from the opposite direction. I'll just copy the Y position here again so it's in line. Okay, then we can copy this rectangle and paste it twice. And once you have it selected, you select one point and hold Shift to select the other, and click and drag on the end point to easily move the whole thing. And then just repeat the process with the other lines that you have. So if we look what we have at the moment, it's nothing spectacular. All the lines are at the same length and they store the animation at the same time. So we will change that. To do this, just go on each individual element and play with the widths. And what we want to do now is actually go into the keyframes and adjust the starting and the end points. So as you can see, we start everything at 0, and I'll just change this a little bit. Also make sure that you don't change it like so, because the animation won't work most likely, as you'll get some kind of error. So open it up and then click on the displacement. And if you have something like this, you can move the whole animation, and you want to move specific keyframes, just click something else and then you'll be able to move it. And try to put everything that it ends somewhere around the same time, so you don't have a sore thumb sticking out. Okay, so the next step that we want to do now is to have some of those PP, boppy elements. And to do that, in the previous example, when we had squares as a background, we could just use an auto rectangle node, make it the size that we needed. But in this case, we need to use a polygon, because we'll make a rectangle out of it. And like anything, the polygon also needs a background. Select the insides of a triangle, choose a color that you like. Let's go with this one. And now we'll basically just be animating the polygon itself. So what can we do with the polygon? We can use motion blur, but that's useless in our case since we're not moving the item. But we have some soft edges and the border width. So let's see. We can also deselect the polygon and it will still represent our changes, so you can see what we're actually doing. Okay, so now we have our element. We do similar as before. Select the starting point, set the level to 0. This will be our starting point for the animation. Then a little bit ahead in time. Let's see how much, 0.5 I guess in this case. So it's a little bit visible. And then we jump down to 0 again. And I will add another 0 keyframe here, because now we can go into the spline editor, select the polygon, and we need the levels. Select all the keyframes, even this last one, right click, duplicate, loop. Now I'll put here 4 loops, so this animation will repeat 4 times. Now it didn't update, but if I move this, it updates. So I can now close the spline and go to the keyframes to adjust the timing of those. So I don't have to repeat the whole process. I can now just select the keyframes, move them over in time. And now we have that animation down. We can do the same as before, just Ctrl C and paste. go to the keyframes again. You can adjust it some more if you want, but I will just shift it over. And we actually have to now reposition it. If we now play the animation back, so the animation looks something like this now. And for the last step, we will actually use the paint node. The paint node needs a background, but we already have one. The only thing that we have to decide is whether we want to allow our stroke that we will be doing to go over all these lines, or will it go under them. If we want the line to go under, you put it between the media in and the first merge, or after. And then you go to the polyline stroke at the top, doesn't matter which one you choose. Start somewhere outside. In this case, I'll go bottom left and start clicking along the lines. If you make a mistake, I know, like this, you can simply just hold it and reposition it. Even if you make something like this, you can still easily just position it in place. Then you go into the brush control, set the size, change the color, and then go down here to the stroke control. This will allow us to write on the line that we just made, so make it as small or as big as you like. The machine decided to poop on me. Come on, machine. Nope. The machine pooped on me. Nope. Luckily I made this one before, so let's just take a look at this one. Go to the fusion. So basically we want to look at the paint node. Now, as you can see, I don't really have the controls here, so we have to go to the modifiers to see those. So I made the line like this. You just shorten the line to however big you want it to be. Click on this so it starts where I want it. I ended it here at 130, clicked on it, and then click in the middle. So you move it from the beginning to the end. You can also use motion blur. So it's something like this now. Why I didn't go over these two, the hexagon and the octagon, is because they don't have any straight lines that you can do simply. You need the paint node, and then just put as many paint nodes after that you want, so you can make all the lines different, or you can make just one line. Then I can copy this one, go into keyframes. This is the copy, paint one, and now I see its line. Otherwise I wouldn't see it. Now I can't click anywhere here, even if I take the mouse, because it just disappears. So we can still reposition this. Now, of course, it won't work exactly, because you still need to finish. And there we have it. Now it's done. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. Ring that bell icon. Until next time, Jackalls, keep it digital.